you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
My name is T.G.K. Reddy, Ppor Reddy Gopal Krishna Reddy. I was born in this village. I am 80. I did my primary education in the Roman Catholic Mission School of this village. My high schooling was done in the neighboring village, Konakanchi. I studied up to SSLC there. Afterwards, I joined Government Polytechnic Vijayawada and I completed my diploma in the year 1963. Afterwards, I joined GREF. GREF means General Reserve Engineer Force as a sub-officer and left GREF as a superintendent B&R grade 1. Afterwards, I went to Libya and worked there for about 1.5 years and returned home. And then again, I went to Bahrain. I worked there for about 6 months and returned home. And afterwards, I was entangled in some court affairs, and about 20 or 30 years of my life is spent in legal affairs. I did not study law, but I studied law books and I represented my cases almost always myself. And many judges, many intelligent bench clerks, many advocates praised my legal knowledge. I addressed my arguments myself in a number of courts, in a variety of forums, and even up to the level of the Supreme Court. An advocate presenting his oral arguments in so many courts and forums is not easily found. It's very rare. I am such a rare personality. Then I follow my own thoughts. I am not fully honest, but I am far ahead of people in the context of honesty. I think my own thoughts and I put my thoughts on paper also, and people eagerly study those thoughts and they are very much impressed, though they don't say that they are impressed and though they don't seem to be reading my thoughts. I have become so popular from my military life itself that in the presidents of America, the Queen of Britain, Prime Minister of India, Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and many personalities know about me. I don't give any lectures on stages, simply I talk, and my talks are so strange, so peculiar that people are impressed and they propagate my thoughts, and my thoughts go far and wide. I am very popular, but nobody acknowledges. So I have never given any video channel. Only in this year only I have given my interview. But many people who give interviews are not as popular as I am. I am very popular. I am a very great man. I am not a leader. I am not a leader at all. But I am a very great man, and my knowledge is acknowledged everywhere. My opponents say that my knowledge is better than even the district collector's knowledge. My opponents, my enemies also praise my knowledge, but everywhere I am a failure. Here in this world, without being dishonest, a man cannot survive. Without paying money, no man can get his works done. Pay money and get your work done. Otherwise, you will be put into grave miseries and survival is very difficult. I always fear, even about 30 years ago, I feared that I would be killed by people of this village. I also feared that people would kill when I was working, and therefore I ran away from my jobs and came to my village. This village is full of Reddys. Though Reddys don't like me, though Reddys exhibit enmity against me, in circumstances of disasters, in circumstances of difficulties, Reddys side with me, and with their support and with their love, I am living in this village today. Otherwise, I would have been killed many years before. That's my introduction.
What is your occupation after your study?
I joined GREF, as I told earlier. I was a sub-overseer. Actually, for a diploma holder, sub-overseer is not the proper job. Many people produce false certificates and they get higher jobs, but I never put forward any false certificates, and I accepted a job below the diploma holder's dignity, and during my 12 years of service in military, I was never promoted, and that is very strange. Even those fellows who did not have any diploma were also promoted to a higher rank than sub-overseer, but I was not promoted because I was not moving with my colleagues, my officers, and my laborers also friendly. So nobody was interested to recommend me for a promotion, and I never breathed the palms of anybody for my promotion. But nevertheless, I got two promotions of course, but those promotions were obtained by giving tests. In the tests I stood first, in every test I stood first, and they had to give me a higher rank. There also money played their role, money played its role, but I did not pay money, and under combat position, they gave me the higher rank, and in such a way I earned 2 higher ranks with my sole effort, without paying any money and without pleasing my superiors or my colleagues. From supervisor I became superintendent beyond grade 2, that means junior engineer, and then I got another promotion. Promotion means higher job, superintendent beyond grade 1, a rank just above junior engineer. That's my job. And in Libya, I was posted as a foreman. Foreman is also an engineer, but there they call foreman. And in Bahrain, I went as a civil engineer, but that company went bankrupt. We spent about 6 months there regularly, and then a German company took us. All of us, and I was taken as a surveyor there, and for about 1 year I worked as a surveyor, and I proved to be better than even German surveyors, though I was not very much in contact with the precision instruments. I started learning using the instruments very quickly, and I showed my merit, and I proved to be better than even German surveyors there. After coming from Bahrain, I returned home and I never left my village again. I was entangled in legal affairs, and about 20 or 30 years of my life is spent in court. Now I even abandoned court affairs and living peacefully without doing anything. I have some land. I disposed of. I deposit the money in a bank, and from the interest I get from the banks, I'm spending my life now, and I have no business now. One day I'm taking rest.
What is your first location?
First location means
Job location.
The first location of my job was Salangam, Arunachal Pradesh. When I joined military, Arunachal Pradesh was known as NIFA, Northeast Frontier Area. Afterwards, it was made a state when I left Arunachal Pradesh. Till the time I was in Arunachal Pradesh, it was known as NIFA. After about 50 years of leaving NIFA, last year I again visited Arunachal Pradesh, and on seeing the places I worked there, and after seeing the places I knew there, I was so much thrilled that I can't explain my joy in words.
Have you interested in joining military, or intentionally you have joined in military?
Neither I have interest nor I have disinterest. One of my acquaintance asked me to apply for a job. I applied for a job in the military, and automatically 2 letter came, and I went to Hyderabad. There I gave my interview, only one interview, and I was selected, and I went there, and I liked graph very much. There, without even taking, without becoming corrupt, without taking bribe, it's not so difficult to work there. But here, it's very difficult without taking any money. One cannot survive here, one cannot work, one cannot do his job properly. So, those 12 years of military are very good for me. And a fellow like me work there for 12 years, but I cannot work here for even 12 days. It is so corrupt here, it is so bad here, that without money nothing works. And our salary won't be enough if we don't take any money, because we have to give away money to our seniors or to our colleagues or to our subordinates. And such practices are not to my liking, and therefore I am not suitable for this atmosphere. I became somewhat suitable for graph, for military, and I enjoyed the military life.
How many years have you worked in military?
I worked for about 12 years there.
Then you have taken voluntary retirement, or?
Yes, I resigned my post. They did not discharge me, they did not send me out. I resigned myself, but they did not discharge me, or they did not dismiss me as a punishment. They did not dismiss me or did not punish me at all. I left graph on my own will and pleasure.
Are you interested in farming also? Some of the people are telling you are interested in farming. What do you know about farming?
I know some principles of agriculture, but I don't have much experience. I have some experience in cultivation of paddy only. I don't have experience in cultivating mist, turmeric or cotton, but I have some principles. I know some principles. I studied some agriculture books also, but not as deeply as I studied law. I know some principles, and I let the people of this village know some new principles. I introduced Sisbenia. I introduced thin transplantation. I introduced so many new practices I introduced, and people followed them. But still, though they followed my principles, so many principles, there are so many principles yet to be followed by them, and they don't realize them. Even though they followed some of the principles told by me, they still take me as ignorant and they take themselves as very, very wise because they have so much experience. Experience is of course of value, but theory is also required. Study is also required. Every subject needs study. Every subject needs education. Every subject needs some experience also. But experience and theory, experience and education are to be mixed together or are meant to become successful. I have some theory about agriculture, but I have no experience. And moreover, knowing agriculture is not the only thing that is very much useful. We know how to protect our fields also from thieves, from cattle, from mischievous fellows. That art also we must learn. That is not learned in books, but we should know how to protect our fields also. Otherwise, our knowledge will be of no use at all. So I studied something, but it's very, very, very less, though I know better than many of the farmers of this village.
At what age have you got married?
I married at the age of 25, and afterwards, barely after months, I left my wife. And from there onwards, I have never thought of marrying again. I hate marriages, I hate women, and I always live distant away from women. I hate women and I don't allow women to come near to me. I don't want women to enter my house alone. If she is accompanied with 3 or 4 males, I allow, but I never allow a lone woman into my house. I fear her and I tremble on seeing women.
You haven't got married again?
No, I hate marriages. As Einstein said, marriage was invented by an unimaginative pig. This was told about 100 years ago by Einstein, but about 2000 years ago, Socrates told that marriage should not be there. If there are children, children must be reared by the state. Children should not be a problem for the parent. All the responsibility of children must be taken care of by the government, and there shouldn't be marriage. Marriage is a very complicated and useless thing which troubles us, which worries us, and I have never seen people enjoying marriage. I have seen so many people committing suicides because of their wives. Of course, there are some males also, there are some females also who commit suicides, but they are far less in number. There are so many males committing suicides because of their wives. I don't like marriage at all. I hate it, and I think it's a useless institution. And I think government should the institution of marriage should be done away with. Government should take proper steps for it.
So many people are telling without marriage you can't survive in this earth. So what is your opinion on that?
It's very difficult to survive without marriage because people won't let them live. Why? Because they are already suffering. They want the other man also to suffer. So they will make his life miserable until he marries. So I agree that without marriage it's very difficult to live, but with marriage it is even more difficult to live. The harassment given by about 100 villages is equivalent to the harassment given by the wife. Wife is the most notorious terrorist so far I know. She is the most notorious criminal. All this strength came to the women from their meanness. They are mean and therefore they are strong, and their strength rules men. So it's better to be as far as possible away from the women and live a lonely life. Children, marriage is not supposed to be for children only or for cooking only. Even children will not help us in the old age. And for cooking, we can keep in a servant. For that, a wife is not necessary at all. And if there are many people in a village who don't marry, then there will be a hotel in the village, and that hotel will supply all food and other amenities also to the unmarried people, to the unmarried farmers also. The hotel can supply food to farmers, to their farms, to their fields also, and common kitchens, common bathrooms, common latrines will be more economical than a kitchen for every home or a bathroom for every home. So if there are more people without marriage, problems will easily be swallowed, and it's not very difficult to live peacefully if there are many people who don't marry. But if a single person lives in a village without marriage, he will face some storms, he will face many difficulties, and it is easy for me to face those difficulties instead of facing the difficulties given by a wife. Therefore, I don't like wives.
So I think people may struggle you to get married. And how do you resist them? What are the ways to resist?
I don't resist. I just keep quiet. They go on chasing me for marrying, and I just keep quiet and I remain silent and I just withdraw into my house. I won't argue with them. Once one doctor, lady doctor from Hyderabad, sent a message that she would like to marry me.
At what age?
At that time, I was 60.
Okay.
I don't know the age of that doctor. I don't know whether she was married again earlier, and I don't know her salary. But I flatly refused her because I hate wives, and I told that even if people offer me the whole fields of this village, I won't marry any woman. Woman, I said. I hate women. I hate wives, and I would rather die than marry.
But people are saying that all women are not same. So what is your opinion on that?
All women are almost same. They are coquettes. They play with the emotions of males. Not only Indian women. I have seen women of so many nations. I worked in two nations, only Libya and Bahrain. But I have seen nations of so many nations. All women are alike, almost identical. Their dress may not be the same, their language may not be the same, but the mentalities are exactly the same, no difference at all. And they are cruel, they are capricious, and they are murderous, and they are terrorists. Women are aggressive.
So after your retirement, what is your occupation?
After retirement, I spent some time in courts. I spent some time doing agriculture, and now I don't have any occupation. I simply pass my time and movies in the YouTube, seeing various programs in the YouTube, and I do nothing.
So you have done some of the time for surveying. So what do you know about surveying?
Of course, survey, I don't say I spent my life in surveying because the surveying I do is very, very less. I live only in this village, and in this village only a few surveys are conducted every year, and all the surveys don't come to me. About half of the surveys will be done by others. So this is not a part of my life at all. It's just simply a fraction of my life. Even now, though I'm 80 years now, I go to fields for surveying, but the chances are very, very meager.
So while comparing to other surveyors, the surveying methods you are using are very accurate. So how do you survey in an accurate way?
Yes, I also suppose that my survey is very, very accurate. But at times, I may commit some mistakes. Though my calculator tells the mistakes I commit, some mistakes even escape the attention of my calculator also. Even then, I think my survey is very, very, very accurate because I use my technical knowledge, the knowledge of my diploma very thoroughly. Even a BTech doesn't apply so much knowledge on surveying, though he spends some time on surveying. My methods are very, very peculiar, very, very strange, and they are very, very accurate. And so many people don't know such methods. And I have never seen any surveyor who is using programmable graphing calculator. I have been using programmable graphing calculator since 30 years. Even before coming to my village family, I was using programmable scientific calculator, graphing calculator. I bought my programmable graphing calculator first from Bahrain. When I was in Bahrain, I bought my calculator. It was 41. So I don't know the actual figure, but Hewlett Packard graphing calculator, and I have changed many calculators thereafter also. Mainly I use Hewlett Packard programmable graphing calculator. Recently I bought Texas Instruments calculator, and it's actually a very good calculator.
So you are living a lonely life. So how do you feel?
Yes, I'm very, very. I'm spending very, very lonely life. So many people can't bear loneliness, but as for me, I like loneliness. Many people come to my house and go on talking something useless, and I almost become crazy. I don't like such fellows, and many people are of the type. They use words with double meaning and
Which hurts you.
which disturbs me. Of course, I'm not hurt because I'm habituated to those words, but why should I listen to those useless words at all? So I don't like people sitting in my room and talking something useless. So I always want to live alone. I want to read books. I want to see YouTube and some programs. And I like my loneliness very much. People are can't bear loneliness, but I like loneliness very much.
After your voluntary retirement, what is your income? How the income will generate?
After my retirement, I used to live on agricultural income only. But before that agricultural income, my field is not good. So when I first came to this village, the agricultural income was not enough for me. Then I was doing some photography for business. I was doing wedding photography and various other photographies, and almost solely on photography I lived for about 5 or 6 years. And after 5 or 6 years, my field started doing some income, and I left photography, and I started solely on my agricultural income. And afterwards, that income was also not sufficient for me, and very fortunately, the rates of the fields jumped up from 1 lakh an acre to about 15 lakhs an acre. Such a jump, very pleasing jump. Immediately I sold my fields, I got 2 rooms constructed, I bought a car, I bought a camera, and the remaining amount was deposited in the bank, and now I live on the interest given by the bank.
So you are recognized as knocking on head the person who is you. So what is the intention behind that? Knocking on head, the people are telling.
Knocking on heads means I don't understand.
So people are recognizing like that. So he is the person that who knocks on head on each on each and everyone.
I criticize people, I criticize the traditions and habits of the people, but I love people. I want the welfare of the people. Though I criticize them, I never hope anything bad for them. I am very much interested in their well-being because I love this village and I love the people of this village. But I can't keep silent regarding their bad habits and their bad behavior and their selfishness. I always criticize them, and I always say, read, go to school, avoid gods, avoid functions, and become rich and become prosperous. I always advise them, and people take this as bad criticism and they don't like me, though they support me at the times of difficulties. If ladies are not there in our village, I would not be alive today. With the support of ladies only, I am living in this village. Though they don't like me, they do support only on caste feeling and the partiality of the caste. I don't like caste. I don't like caste feeling, but caste feeling is protecting me, is saving me, though I don't like it. Caste feeling should be there for the benefit of the people, not for harming people. But caste feeling is almost always used as a weapon, not a shield. I don't like this. But anyway, only because of ladies, I am alive now. Otherwise, I would have been killed.
So many people are telling living with honest is very difficult. So but you are living with honest. So how is it possible?
Yes, leading an honest life is very difficult. Of course, I am honest, but not 100% honest. There is I commit some illegal activities. I behave dishonestly sometimes, but I am far ahead of people. If I am 100% honest, then I can't survive. I can't survive. So for survival only, I become dishonest at times, but not for money. I don't expect any money. I don't make money, but I am dishonest only for my survival, not for money.
What is your opinion on God and religious cultures?
I don't accept God. I don't believe in God. I don't say that people must show God to me, but I want people that they should show some proofs for the existence of God. There must be some results that prove that God exists there. And I think no one believes in God. Almost all say God is there, but they don't believe in God. Why they say God is there and don't believe? Because in the name of God, they want to cheat, they want to steal something, they want to deceive, they want to make money, they want to exhibit themselves for these reasons. And for so many other reasons also, many people don't deny God because they have something beneficial, and therefore they don't want to let God go away.
You are telling that God doesn't exist. So how the birth of God took place on this earth?
Birth of God? No, nobody took God did not take any birth, and there is no God himself. How can he take birth on this earth? Even outside earth also there is no God at all. how can he come to earth?
The man only created God, I think.
Yes, sure. So many people agree to this principle. Babu Govinini and so many other people are there who believe that God is the creation of man. Man created God. God is not there and there is no question of creating a man.
How the need generates you to learn about the legal codes and about the laws.
I studied law books, good books. I studied such books that are even higher in quality than the books studied by lawyers. And I can deal with a case without approaching an advocate. More knowledge has been appreciated by many.
What is the need behind it? You are learning, so without any need you haven't learned it.
Because I was dragged into legal affairs. I lent some money to somebody and he defaulted. Then I had to go to court. First, I approached advocates, but I found advocates to be useless. One judge himself suggested me that I should represent my case myself. And from that time, I was representing my case myself, and that judge helped me very much. And afterwards also, some judges helped so much that without their help, I would have been not alive now. With their help only I am living, otherwise I would have been committed suicide also. By giving loan to others, I was dragged into legal affairs and I was bogged in those affairs, bogged down.
What are your hobbies? Habits or hobbies, whatever.
My habit is taking sweets. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I don't have those two habits. Rarely, of course, I drink and I don't smoke at all. I'm not much interested in drinking. Also, I'm not much interested in meat or chicken or any non-veg. I'm only interested in sweets. And my hobbies are photography and computers, virtual surveying. These are my hobbies and professions also.
So give some advices those people who are addicted to drinking, smoking, whatever.
So many people say that abandoning drinking is very, very difficult, but I don't think so. I don't have the experience of leaving drinking, but if there is will, there is way. I agree with this adage. There must be strong will, then it's very easy to avoid drinking. And drinking is a very useless habit, and also smoking is also very useless. Though there are some benefits by moderate drinking, we should not adopt drinking at all for those silly benefits. But eating sweets also is a bad habit. We can't live without bad habits completely, because if we avoid all bad habits, the life will be not so meaningful. But such drastic bad habits like drinking and smoking are not to be adopted. Consuming ghee, consuming some sweets are some bad habits, but for our enjoyment and for our happiness, we may adopt those habits. But drinking and smoking are never to be adopted at all. They ruin our life, they ruin our wealth, and all bad things will occur to us.
Is there any happiness behind it?
Yes, of course. If we don't have these habits, we'll be happy.
So being lonely, you are cooking yourself and you are washing your clothes yourself. So is there any difficulty in that? Are you facing any difficulty?
No, previously I was washing my clothes, I was bringing water from the well. Nowadays, as I sold my lands and I got a patent amount of money, and with the help of that money, I built 2 rooms, 1 good kitchen, washing machine, overhead tank. All these mixers, all these things reduced my labor very, very much. Almost 90% of my labor was removed. Only 10% remains. I do my cooking, and that's the only difficult job for me. And I don't want to engage anybody for my cooking. So far I have enough strength. I won't engage anybody. I will cook myself.
There is no difficulty.
Nowadays I am not feeling much difficulty. Of course there is some difficulty in cooking also, but engaging a person for my cooking will be more difficult for me, I think.
So are you getting any pension after your retirement?
No, I don't have any pension because I resigned my job. I should complete at least 20 years of my service for getting a pension. It's of course a central government job, not and it's a good job also. It's a bit more than junior engineer. But as I resign, I don't get any pension. But I avail the facilities of canteen services, military canteen services. A man who completes 5 years can ever have those facilities.
So you are so much straightforward, so that nature likes many people. So why you are so much straightforward?
For my satisfaction, I'm straightforward, no doubt, but I'm not 100% straightforward. There is some dishonesty in me, there is some immorality in me, and without these bad habits, I can't survive at all. And there is no use of sacrificing my life for these small habits. Even my enemies acknowledge that I'm straightforward, I'm good, I'm righteous, and I'm honest. I'm far ahead of the people, and that gives satisfaction for me. I don't expect any heaven or hell. I don't believe in them. Only for my satisfaction, I am this much honest. I am this much straightforward. Of course, I have some bad habits also. After all, I'm woman, and but I have no sexual habits. I have never committed sex for the last 50 years. I am living without sex for 50 years. People say it's very difficult, but I don't like that, and I'm quite happy without sex. People say that they don't live without sex, but I am living happily without sex.
So people are respecting you, but you are not willing to take respect. So what is your opinion on that?
People may respect me, but they don't show their respect outwardly. Almost all people insult me, though they respect in their minds. And it's but natural. Many straightforward men, many truth-telling men are not respected at all. People respect those people who do harm to them. They fear harmful people, not straightforward people, not honest people. So they may have respect in their minds, but they don't exhibit their respect.
What is your advice to the current youth?
I want them to be as honest as possible, not 100% honest as possible, and avoid corruption as much as possible. Complete avoidance of corruption is very dangerous, but we should avoid corruption as much as possible.
So have you taken any dowry during your marriage time?
No, I didn't. I haven't taken any dowry.
So what is your opinion on that?
Dowry is not at all a bad habit, because a woman comes to the house of her husband and she must bring something for her maintenance also. All the burden should not be thrown on the husband, because they are living together. They must enjoy the properties of both these spouses. She must bring something from her home. They say they do so much labor in the house of the husband. But who asked them? Who requested her to do so much labor? Why should she come here and do so much labor? Who asked her? Who requested her? She always laments that she does so much labor. Labor for whom? For her children, for her husband, for herself, for her clothing, for her food. She is not doing only for her husband. She also takes food here. She also gets clothing from the husband. So it's almost a common property, though the share of the property of the husband is much, but she must bring some share from her home also, and for their well-being. Dowry is not at all a bad habit, but the problem should be settled before marriage. After marriage, demanding more dowry is very rude. I don't accept at all. But demanding as much dowry as possible before marriage is a good habit, not bad.
So you are not much aware of cleanliness. So what is your opinion on that?
Yes, not only in this old age, but from the youth itself also. I'm not much particular about cleanliness. Such people are very rare. I think I am the only person who neglects cleanliness so much. It's my habit, and I am unable to avoid it. I can't keep my house clean. It's very difficult for me.
So what is your opinion on killing animals for human errors?
Killing animals for the sake of gods is not to my liking, but killing animals for the protection of humans is accepted by me, and killing animals for the food of humans is also acceptable for me. Killing insects, birds, and such creatures for protecting our crops is also to my liking. I don't think it's bad. And killing snakes is also not bad, but all the snakes shouldn't be killed. Some snakes must be there for nature. All tigers must not be killed. All lions must not be killed. But those animals which pose threat to humans must be killed, or they are to be protected from humans, and humans must be protected from those animals also.
So what is your suggestion to live a healthy life for humans?
Taking food, good healthy food, balanced food is the best solution. An ancient doctor told that food must be our medicine and medicine must be our food. Food is to be taken moderately, not excessively, and our health almost solely depends upon the quality of our food. And besides food, exercise is also very important, very important for controlling belly fat, for controlling obesity. But it's not possible for me to take exercise. Previously I was climbing hills, but nowadays I'm not much interested in exercise, and I'm bored with exercise, and my belly fat is increasing day by day.
What are the tips we need to take while eating food or not? In the morning time, in the afternoon, in the evening?
We should take food only when we are hungry, not for taste. Many people told that we should eat for living, we should eat to live, we shouldn't live for eating. That's a very good principle, but some weaknesses are there, and we take food which is not helpful to health, but for our taste we take some unnecessary, unwanted food. That should be under control.
So tell me your opinion on politics, and nowadays the politics are.
Politics is a very dirty game. I don't like politics. A man without money and without making money can't become a politician. An honest man can't become even a sarpanch. Politics and honesty are altogether different. But if politics is good, the welfare of the country will be good. That much I know. But I don't like politics, and I am away from politics.
So this village people are telling you have nominated for one time. So have you give any money for voting or what?
I stood for the president of the cooperative society Posampalli just for the improvement of this village, not for making money. At that time I was doing a job also by some department. I did not accept the job only for standing for the president of the cooperative society. I did not campaign. I did not ask anybody for vote. I did not spend even a single rupee except the fees required by the election process, and I got only 10 votes, and those votes are also not meant for me. By the mistake of the elected people, I could get those 10 votes, but actually nobody voted for me intentionally.
So as you said in the beginning of the video, you have known for each and every higher profiles like Chief Minister, Prime Minister. So how will you know to him?
Because of my thoughts. Not only Chief Minister and Prime Ministers, but also the Presidents of America, the great leaders of Britain, BBC World Service, and so many people of surrounding cities, towns know me because of my thoughts. So many people did not even see me, but they know me. As I told earlier, a doctor from Hyderabad wanted to marry me. She didn't see me at all, but she wanted to marry me. She didn't see my face even, and perhaps she might be knowing my property, my or other qualities, my education. My education is very low. My property is very low, but she liked to marry me because of the reputation I have. I have international reputation, and therefore she was attracted to me and she wanted to marry me. I was so famous internationally, not only nationally. I am famous internationally also.
What are your weaknesses?
My weakness is eating sweets, and sex is not my weakness at all. I don't find any other weaknesses except eating sweets. I don't have any liquor habit or smoking habit. So far I remember, I only have the weakness of taking sweets, and I don't remember any other thing.
What are your positive weaknesses? It is a weakness, but it is positive for you.
Positive weakness means
Forgiving people.
I don't think I am fit for forgiving people. I don't think I can forgive people. I can ignore people, but I don't have the capacity to forgive people. My weakness is seeing YouTubes, studying books, and photography is also my weakness. You can say it's my hobby also, and it's my weakness also. These are my weaknesses. But liquor is not my weakness. Smoking is not my weakness. Sex is not my weakness at all.
What are your strengths? What are your strengths?
Strengths. Exhibiting resistance against the pressure of the villagers is my strength.
Is there any use of children nowadays or in olden days?
I don't think children are of any use. Children, not only children, but even parents are also of no use. There are demons in parents also. Even a mother can be a demon, a father can be a demon, a child can be a demon, and son, daughter, anybody can be a demon. Living alone in a house is the best way. Any other member, whether brother, sister, father, mother, or any human being, is going to harass us, is going to trouble us, is going to make us to commit even suicides. I don't like children also, but without marriage also there will be children. I don't say people should avoid sex. If there is sex, there must be children, and those children must be reared by the state. Those children are not supposed to look after us in our old age. In our old age, there must be some there are some institutions which admit old people. So those institutions are better than children. They will take care of us better than children, and we cannot believe children at all, and we cannot believe parents also at all.
The whole world is facing the problem of prostitution. So what is your opinion on that?
Prostitution, I don't hate prostitution, but prostitution is different from premarital and extramarital sex. Prostitution is there from times immemorial, and premarital and extramarital sex is also there in the world from times immemorial, and I don't hate them. I don't hate prostitution, I don't hate premarital sex, I don't hate extramarital sex, but I don't like people saying that I must accept premarital or extramarital sex. It's up to the will and pleasure of an individual whether a man can commit extramarital sex, a man may commit premarital sex, but that same man may expect a woman without committing premarital or extramarital sex. That woman should avoid such a person, but that woman should not marry such a person and then harass him. If a man doesn't like premarital sex or extramarital sex, a woman should not marry him. But after marriage, she cannot harass him, saying that all people are immoral. A man or female must be allowed to behave as they like. There must not be any control over them. There is nothing bad, there is nothing good, there is nothing sin, and there is nothing virtue. Anybody can behave as they like. I don't hate prostitution, I don't hate premarital sex, I don't hate extramarital sex. But I don't like a woman who commits, I don't want to take a woman as a wife who commits extramarital sex. Though I don't hate extramarital sex.
So the world is also facing the problem of corruption. So how to avoid that?
I have no solution for corruption. It's hydra-headed. It's very hard to root it out. I don't have a solution, and corruption has become a way of life. The man who doesn't commit corruption is treated as crazy nowadays. Corrupt people are respected and they live very happily. The man who doesn't commit corruption lives very miserable life.
So but the people who are corrupted, they are telling people are giving money for us so that we are taking money.
That's completely false. They demand money, otherwise nobody is going to give him money. But corrupt people may not be bad. They may not be selfish also. They must accept money, and they must give money to their superiors. Without giving money to their superiors, they can't survive. If for example, if there is a government employee, he must pay something to get the job. To get the job, and after job also, he must pay every month some amount to his superior and some amount to his subordinates also. And if you go on paying money, his salary won't be enough for him for living. So all corrupt men are not bad, but they must accept money for their survival, not for their luxury, not for their selfishness, but to live, even for survival, even for living. A man must accept money. A man must make money. Otherwise, he will not live in this world. He will die. So all corrupt people are not at all bad. This is a vicious circle, and all people are moving around in that circle.
So does any religious or constitution or rules says that sex is wrong or sex is right?
Yes, law also says sex is not wrong. Religions also say sex is not. Law also says sex is immoral, wrong. Religions also say, and so many people say, but everyone commits illegal sex. The judge who punishes for sexual offences himself commits sex, illegal sex, forcibly. So we cannot make everything legal, and we cannot live completely legally.
So nowadays the famous celebrities or some common peoples are divorcing many more. So what is your opinion on divorce nowadays and in olden days?
It's a very good trend. Taking divorce is a very good habit. Prohibition of divorce makes marriage miserable. A divorce is the only way to be happy. If a man is not allowed to take divorce, or if a woman is not allowed to take divorce, she will be compelled to live miserable life, and that's not acceptable. A man or a woman must be allowed to take divorce freely and quickly. And the rule that a man should support or the man should maintain a woman is a very bad rule, and it should be removed. A man need not do maintenance to his wife after divorce. There should not be any law on maintenance. The maintenance should not be there, and the provision of maintenance should be removed altogether. Because nowadays, women and men are equal. Women also can earn, men also can earn. So why women should depend on men? They should not. They should stand on their own feet. So demanding maintenance from men is cruel.
What are the major aspects to take divorce?
I think the most important aspect is ego
In women or men?
in both. And another aspect is maladjustments. They can't adjust themselves. Ego is the main reason, and maladjustments is the second factor. Even psychologists can't adjust themselves and they take divorce. It's almost impossible to adjust with a man or a woman, and therefore when a marriage knot is very dangerous in this respect. Why should we marry and why should we be unable to adjust? So there should not be any marriage.
So nowadays the people from the age of teen to the youth, so people are hanging themselves for failures in love or failures in some other things. So what is your opinion?
One must not commit suicide in any circumstance. If a man fails in sex, let him leave the woman and live peacefully, or live with another woman or without a woman. But there is no point in committing suicide. He must anyway live. He must earn. Any man can earn in these days. If a man works, he has the means to earn, and there is no necessity for any man to commit suicide. Committing suicide means unnecessary emotions and foolish emotions are the cause.
So what is the importance of education in olden days and nowadays?
Education is always very important, but educated people are not necessarily virtuous. Even uneducated men also can be virtuous, but taking everything into consideration, education is indispensable for humans. Education is almost unavoidable, and with education we can enjoy very much. We may not get job, but we will definitely enjoy education.
Without education, can't a man can survive or not?
Without education also man can survive, but he can't derive so much happiness as an educated man can derive.
So people are making money through illegal activities, and some people are making money through honesty. So what is the main difference?
Making money honestly is a very good habit. We should not be content with our money. We should earn as much money as possible throughout our life. We should go on earning money, but through legal means only. And it's very difficult to define legality. That may be defined by the individual himself. But making money through foul means is very dangerous for the nation, for the humanity, and for everybody. Illegal money is not good at all.
So what are the principles to stay a long life after marriage? Are there any standard principles?
People say that a man should be deaf and a wife should be blind after marriage. Without marriage, a man can very easily live a long life. But with marriage, I don't think it's easy to live long because there are so many problems, there are so many worries, and a man soon dies because of marriage.
What is the importance of time?
Time is money, no doubt at all. The most precious property or the most precious asset we have is time. If we lose time, we lose very much. We lose happiness, we lose enjoyment, we lose money, everything we lose. Time is money, and time is the most valuable thing in the world.
So in the olden days, have you believed in God or not?
In childhood, I was believing in God, but without reason. Only because all people were believing in God, and therefore I also was believing in God. But afterwards, by reading some books or by seeing the world, I thought there is no God.
Then how this earth and sky had came into this?
But those people who say that God is there, has no proof that this was created by God. People didn't see God creating this world and universe. How can you say that God created this? There may be some other being also who created God. There is no end. So this is beyond my ken. This is beyond my knowledge. I don't want to know about the creation, but I want the proofs of the existence of God. God must show some proof. God must show some miracle. Otherwise, I can't believe in God. There must be some proof. I don't want to see God. I don't want to ask anybody to show me God. But I want some proof. I want some honesty in those people who believe in God. Those who believe in God are more sinful than those who don't believe in God. What's the use of believing in God if the man doesn't follow the instructions given by God? God says something and people do exactly the opposite. But say that God is there, and they may even give their lives for protecting God. Actually, God should protect us, but we are not supposed to protect God. God is supposed to protect Ayodhya temple. We are not supposed to protect the temple of Ram. Why should we protect God? God should protect us. But we make houses, we make temples for God. But God never builds any house for us. But we build so many houses for God. That's not the duty of God. God actually should help us. But we are helping God as if He is helpless. So therefore I don't believe in God.
So people also are telling that all planets are revolving and the earth is also revolving. Then the person who is behind that, these things are going on. So that existence is God, the people are telling.
But there must be something behind that existence. So if you go on talking about the source behind something, there is no end for it. I don't know anything about the creation of this universe, the Big Bang theory or anything. I'm not much knowledge about this. When I can believe the scientists, but I cannot believe fully. I can't believe even Darwin's theory, but I cannot disbelieve it also. Darwin may be right or may not be right. I don't have the capacity to estimate Darwin, so I don't have the capacity to criticize him or to praise him. I don't have that much knowledge. I'm not that much educated. But why should we bother about God? There must be some miracle. There must be some proof about God. Otherwise, how can we believe God? We cannot put so many questions like creation of universe or anything like that.
What are the rules to be adopted by human to lead a good life?
There are no rules. A man can lead a life according to his own conscience. More than 99% of people lead lives against their conscience. I don't like this. A man must lead a life as his conscience tells. That's the only rule I know.
Whether it is wrong or right, as per his consciousness, a man should lead a
Yes, right, exactly right. And generally, conscience doesn't advise bad things. Conscience means conscience. It gives always good advices, good suggestions, and good advices. But because they are good, people ignore them. They want all things bad for their well-being.
So tell me some of the great leaders whom do you like?
I like Jawaharlal Nehru very much. I don't like Gandhi, and I like Bertrand Russell. I like Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and I don't like Buddha very much.
Swami Vivekananda.
I like Swami Vivekananda to some extent, though he is a theist. His many ideologies are atheistic. I like him. He is a great man, and there are some parts with which I don't agree, but he is a great man, no doubt. I like Einstein, not because of his scientific knowledge, but because of his revolutionary thoughts.
The whole Indian people are liking Mahatma Gandhi and accept him as the father of nation. Then why you are not liking him? Is there any particular reason?
All his habits are dirty habits. I don't dislike men who have dirty habits. After all, people are people. People may have dirty habits. But while condemning dirty habits, the same man, if he commits them, I don't like it. And that's the habit I saw in Gandhi. He says so many things and he does all things against the things.
So far there are many temples on this earth, but there is no a little bit of change in humans. So is there any use of temples on this earth?
Not at all, not at all. I think temples are meant for sex, not for holy actions. Afterwards, they are treated as buildings for making holy things. I don't see any use of the temples, and the temples don't make men good. I don't like temples, and all temples must be made as libraries or community halls, and gods must be removed from them.
So nowadays the amendments are going on, and they are removing some of the laws and they are adding the laws. So what is your opinion?
Revising laws is a good trend, but many laws are revised because women instigate them to revise. Many people follow women's advice. Many people rely on women, their strength, and they fear women, and they amend laws according to the will of women, and that I don't like.
Tell me some of your sayings that appreciates you. Some of your sayings.
I have no sayings at all.
How the world will be after 10 years or some years ago.
I can't imagine because there is so much scientific development. I can't even estimate how the world will be after 10 years, or I can't even say that world will exist after 10 years. World means humans and animals. Any nuclear wars may come and Earth may be destroyed. The life on Earth may be destroyed. So I can't predict what will happen in the next 10 years or 100 years, or even some extra terrestrial body may hit Earth and ruin all the life on Earth. Anything can happen.
Will you believe in rebirth?
I don't at all.
Why so?
There are no proofs of rebirth.
So far there are no rebirths.
No rebirths at all.
But the religious books are telling that there is a rebirth after your death.
They preach so only for the sake of their vested interests. I don't believe in rebirth. Or Atma, Paramatma, I don't believe in them.
How to change people and how to change the system on this earth, or the government systems, from illegal activities to legal activities.
Many people say that the world can't be changed, mankind can't be changed, but I think it's possible to change, but we can't expect changes all of a sudden. A gradual change may become, I think I have changed this village at least 1%. Their thoughts change, and many people have come to realize that Gopal Reddy says something true, and that's a very good change, and I am happy with the change I brought out.
So, till now, you have continued your life as alone. Have you faced any difficulty during this time period?
I face very many difficulties, but if I don't live alone, I will face even more and more serious difficulties. Living alone, I am happy, and if I live a joint life or some with companions, I will lead a more dangerous life.
In terms of
Mentally dangerous and physically dangerous also.
have you faced any problems during your military job or what?
So many everywhere problems are there, and I think all men face problems. There is no such man as who doesn't face problems. Many men face dangers also, but I face much more dangers, much more problems because of my straightforwardness.
So people are committing illegal activities in that there are educated people and non-educated people. So then what is the value of education?
Education can't eradicate illegality. Education can only make man happy by knowing all these things, YouTube things. So many we can enjoy, we can derive entertainment from education. The people who have education can enjoy more entertainment, can earn more knowledge also. But illegality depends upon the individual, not education.
So in the next generations, so the whole world will be on smart technologies like artificial intelligence and some other things. Then how will be the future of human life?
To my mind, the future will be bright. The superstitions will go on diminishing. People not believing in God may rise in number, and divorces will be more. People who don't marry will be more, and due to all these reasons, the world will be happier than now.
So in the world, so our India is the most populated country. So how to reduce the population?
By family planning only. It's very important for India to reduce its population by adopting stricter family planning methods. Not only India, but the world should reduce its population. Otherwise, the earth can't provide for all these people. There must be some limit for population. If we encroach upon rivers, mountains, etc., those will adversely affect our life and health. There must be some limit for the population for this earth. Earth cannot go on supporting limitless population.
How to reduce the pollution?
By scientifically we can reduce pollution. We cannot limit our luxuries. For example, we may use electric cars instead of petrol cars or diesel cars. Science can only reduce the problem. It will invent new methods for reducing pollution, and the more pollution we reduce, happier we will be.
The food nowadays are not being quality. So how to get quality food?
Quality food is obtained by minimizing the use of pesticides and fertilizers. Many countries don't accept our products because our food products contain dangerous pesticides and fertilizers also. So limiting the use of pesticides, we can get quality food.
The higher degree people nowadays could not able to speak English properly, or could not calculate, or could not tell anything if you ask them to solve any problem. But as you are studied in the olden days, the diploma, and you are speaking well, and you are doing the things good, How is it possible for you?
Actually, I joined the military, and the day I joined, I started speaking English very well. Speaking English very well is not dependent on education, but the circumstances we live in. If we are compelled to talk English, we speak English better. Now I am speaking English, but this English is only 25% of the English I spoke earlier. During these 50 years, I have no touch with English, and I am unable to speak English fluently, and I am unable to use appropriate words because I don't have the habit of speaking English. Since 50 years, I have no atmosphere to talk English in. So earlier, I was speaking English very well. If one wants to speak well, one must practice speaking well. Practice makes, by speaking with others in English, makes his English better. Simply by education, we can't speak English well. We may write well, but all people are unable to write well also. He must practice writing, and he must study well. He must read books. He must refer to dictionaries. Most important, he must have some people around for talking in English. And then English will be improved. And good knowledge of English and speaking skills of English are very, very useful nowadays. Everything comes in English about science. That new topic can be translated into other languages, but it takes time. But if one knows English, one can grasp that topic very well immediately because he knows English. Anything comes new is in English only. English is the international language, the most important language, number one language, and we should not hate to learn English. We should love our mother tongue, but we should not hate English. One must talk well, one must write well, and one must read well for his good life.
But people are opposing English medium schools in Andhra. So, is there any problem if you remove English medium schools, only Telugu medium schools?
Yes, there will be a lot of problems. English medium must be there, but Telugu subjects also, mother tongue also should be taught. But the medium should be English, and people must talk in English in the schools and colleges. And he may talk in Telugu or any other regional language outside the college or outside the school. But in colleges and schools, all students must speak in English only. One must communicate English properly, otherwise you won't have much future, especially abroad.
So you are living in this village for
For the last 50 years.
So have you observed any changes to be made in this village?
Yes, there are so many changes to be made, but nobody listens to us because I am a diploma in civil engineering. But nobody consults me while laying out curves of the roads, internal roads, or any other things. They construct roads very, very uselessly. I am a diploma in this village. Why don't they come to me and ask my advice? I don't know. All the curves must be well set out. For looking aesthetically, they will be good. And unnecessarily they raise the roads and the houses will become below, and it will create many problems for the householders. There are so many changes, but nobody listens to us. Everyone has his own ego, and he does his work according to his own will, though he has no knowledge. For example, I know something about civil engineering, but I don't hesitate to go to any man, like an electrician or some mechanical engineering man, for learning something which is not civil. But people who don't know anything about civil engineering or mechanical engineering or electrical engineering don't take advices from the appropriate persons who are easily available in the village. That's the pity. If they take advices from appropriate fellows, much good developments will be seen in the village.
Any more changes to be changed in this village for the future?
There are so many always changes. The required changes will be always there. They will never end.
What are they? What are the changes?
Good roads,
Quality roads,
quality buildings,
drainage system, street lights.
Street lights are also there, of course. In everything there is room for improvement. There is no limit for improvement. So, depending upon the budget of the panchayat, any changes may be brought. For example, here at Budrai, there is a corner. That corner must be acquired by the panchayat, 1 cent or so. If that corner is softened, the traffic will flow smoothly. So, in such centers, some extra land should be acquired by the panchayat, and neat curves must be made so that the vehicles must move smoothly. So, there is no limit for improvements. Sky is the only limit. But there must be some improvements. But those people who know nothing about engineering or anything, they do their works according to their own will. That's very dangerous.
What are the natural rights of human who are staying in this village? What are the common rights? We need to ask the president or sarpanch. What are the common rights?
People can approach him for good water supply, for good electricity supply, for good traffic problems, for removing obstacles on the roads, running tractors with full wheels, and keeping sheep on the roads. So many problems are there, and a sarpanch can easily remove all these problems, but he is interested only in his votes, and he doesn't take interest in removing all these obstacles and inconveniences.
What is your job role in military, and what are the responsibilities you have?
During my 12 years of service, I worked for about 6 years in office and 6 years on road. I was not engaged in the construction of buildings, but I was engaged in the construction of earth roads only. I used to construct bituminous roads also, but not so much. Mainly I was constructing earth roads, hill roads, and I was making estimates, preparing technical sanctions, drawing plans, making surveys, constructing covers. All these jobs I was doing, but blacktopping or concreting was very much less. I did not construct any concrete road in my life. I constructed bituminous surface roads, but mostly I was engaged in the construction of earth roads only. And in the office, I was plotting, I was making technical sanctions, I was making estimates. There are so many office procedures are also there. I was in charge of the office, and I was doing my technical job.
How will you treat your laborers during work?
I treat my laborers just like my friends. I never behave with them high-handedly. I always treat them as my friends, and I hardly cut their attendance. If a man is not present because of illness, I never cut the attendance on that day. I give him freely, and it repays me very much. He works very hard, and he becomes very happy with me, and they cooperate with me, and they work very hard. Unnecessarily punishing laborers and unnecessarily domineering over them is not recommended. After all, there are humans, they are educated. In our laborers, there are so many old men. I must respect them, though they are uneducated. They are my laborers. Just on account of their old age also, I must respect them. I should not treat him as a laborer, but I should get what's done from them. But we should behave with laborers humanely. We are all, after all, humans. No one is big, no one is small. We must behave like equal citizens.
So is there any particular reason to work for 8 hours, any labor?
Of course, a man is not a machine. He cannot work continuously for hours together. 8 hours is a reasonable limit, and we should not engage them for more than 8 hours. And a day off for one in a week is also very much necessary. It's not their life is not only for working, their life is for enjoying also. So 8 hours work is enough for a day, and 6 days a week are also enough. We should not engage them for 7 days a week.
If they work for 10 hours, then what should they need to pay?
They should be paid extra money, and many companies pay, but in our military department, even if they work late, no extra payment is given. But if a man works for an hour extra, next day he will be given 1 hour off. In that way, the labor will be compensated. But money is not given to them, no extra.
No overtime money.
No overtime.
Now this time, if you go to the place where you have worked, how do you feel?
Last year I went there and I felt very thrilled, very thrilled. It's a second person for me. Really, I enjoyed very much. It's just like my native place. So there is nothing much attractive there. But only because I worked there, I developed some love towards that place, and even now I want to go and see it again after 1 year.
Have you observed any changes?
There are a lot of changes there, in the roads also, in the buildings also, and some new villages also came up. Then during these 50 years there is much change, and I felt thrilled on seeing them.
So you are writing agreements for the people. So have you learned anywhere or have you developed it yourself?
I developed myself. So I saw some agreements written by my ancestors, by my previous men, and I started writing agreements. I did not take any training from anybody, and it's not a very difficult job. It's very easy.
Will you take any money for that? Or
Yes, I take money. I take 400 rupees per agreement.
you will type and you will give the agreement, or you will write?
If they don't get it registered soon, I type the agreement and give them. If they get registration, or if they get it be land registered within a month or within 10 days or 15 days, I write the agreements with my hand and do them. Because after registration, an agreement must be destroyed. So there is no fun in taking so much pain in typing. I don't have much speed in either English typing or Telugu typing. But I know Telugu and English typing, but with minimum speed only.
Will you do any settlements also? Or?
I don't do any settlements. If anyone asks me to do some settlement, I politely refuse it, because I'm not interested in giving decisions or suggestions to anybody. I simply tell some procedures or rules or acts, but I don't suggest them to act as per my wish.
Is there anything to tell something?
But you asked very many important pertinent questions, and you have left me with nothing to say anymore. Thank you very much.